Joe Rogan becomes the latest celebrity to blast Blake Lively and Ryan.
You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Blake Lively, talk about ruin your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they fucked up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. He's trying to get out of the lawsuit. And they're like, you are a key part of this.
This is what you get, though.
Zelensky was asked to leave the White House. Then he appeared on Fox News and said he thinks he can still salvage his relationship with President Trump, which is like Justin Baldoni saying, I'd love to work with Blake again.
So what was it like working with Blake Lively on the set of It Ends With Us? Justin Baldoni dropped a number of text messages with crew members detailing just how difficult Blake Lively was to work with.
Things are getting real messy in Hollywood right now. Ryan Reynolds is reportedly shaken after Joe Rogan came forward with some shocking claims about his wife, Blake Lively. According to Rogan, Blake's been playing a behind-the-scenes game that could seriously damage Ryan's image and career. The internet's buzzing and Hollywood's in shock. Fans everywhere are wondering what secrets could be hiding behind this picture-perfect couple.
Can ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement?
Because they were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah.
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise. The whole thing's crazy. And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case.
He's going hard in the paint. But that's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
He's like, all right.
Yeah.
He did it for the boys.
Exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that who's like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right,
dude, he posted the receipts. He's like, oh, remember our text exchange? Bah, bah,
how about
bah,
she told him to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding? And then part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like, you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it, because everyone's just bows down.
Because everyone's scared.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list. Like, they're the queen of the king.
So what's the drama all about? Rogan and fellow podcaster Brendan Schaub accused Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds of getting involved in a shady legal move against actor and director Justin Baldoni. They claim Blake and Ryan tried to take over a movie franchise that originally belonged to Baldoni. Even more explosive, Rogan suggests they used the momentum of the #MeToo movement to push him out of the project.
Joe's spot on. Brandon and Joe are spot on, and it's just encouraging to see more big personalities, outlets, celebrities just talking about it realistically and not the way Blake and Hollywood is trying to spin it, which a lot in Hollywood are. Now, clearly Joe's not afraid. He says what he wants. He always has. But still, it's still a massive, big platform. And to see him out there talking about it honestly and actually sharing the proper facts can't help Blake and Ryan. They must not like seeing such big personalities and people with so much sway, but being out there calling it out for what it is, because let's be honest, Hollywood doesn't like that. They don't like us being honest. They don't like us telling you the truth. They try to to massage everything into their narrative.
The legal battle between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is heating up fast. Their lawsuits against each other are officially going to trial on March 9th, 2026. Meanwhile, some big names, including Ryan Reynolds, the New York Times, and publicist Leslie Sloan, are scrambling to distance themselves from Baldoni's massive $400 million defamation and extortion suit. The judge overseeing the case even said it's starting to look more like a fight between PR firms than a typical lawsuit.
Now, Baldoni's lawsuit is 179 pages, so in case you don't have time to read through it all, I want to read you a direct quote from the complaint that essentially summarizes everything that Baldoni is alleging. He says, "Lively wields immense power as one of the world's best-known celebrities. She set out to destroy plaintiffs' livelihoods and businesses if they did not bend to her incessant demands, and when they refused to give way, she did exactly that, accusing them of foul and reprehensible sexual misconduct." Now, I reached out to Baldoni's attorney, who tells me that they have copious amounts of text messages and emails and other evidence that they say proves that Baldoni did nothing wrong. I reached out to a representative for Blake and Ryan. They have not responded yet.
So Blake Lively files to dismiss $400 million lawsuit, calling it an abuse of the legal system. But what does this mean exactly? Let's break it down. So this actually isn't headline news. Just this week, Ryan Reynolds also filed to dismiss the lawsuit, but what does it mean? So this is specifically referring to Justin Baldoni's lawsuit against them. They want the judge to dismiss Baldoni's lawsuit against them, like saying, hey judge, we don't deserve to be sued. Can you please just get him away from us? Her publicist Leslie Sloan and the New York Times have also filed motions to dismiss, but why is this so important right now? Because the judge just settled the protective order dispute, which means the next phase is to move into discovery, which means digging up the text messages, digging up the emails, deposing people, Taylor Swift. And along with a motion to dismiss, we have Leslie Sloan and the New York Times, and presumably next will be Blake and Ryan, are filing a motion to stay discovery, meaning they don't want to move into discovery just yet until the judge decides on all of their motions to dismiss. Long story short, it's a delay tactic. It seems like they don't want to move into discovery, probably because discovery is going to get very messy. Again, the text messages, the emails, we're gonna get into all the records, we're gonna get into the depositions. Taylor Swift, Hugh Jackman, Bradley Cooper. You know for a fact, Brian Friedman is coming for all of them in the depositions. Now, why might Khaleesi and her dragons wanna delay the discovery process? One theory is that we have another simple favor. The official premiere is coming out soon, so we may not want to taint that any further, right? Oh, but there's a bigger reason we may want to delay this process. This very, very messy process. Bigger than another simple favor, Ryan Reynolds' company is about to go public. Sounds like a very lucrative deal. Now, we wouldn't want to hurt any chances of a really big sale by having messy details about this messy lawsuit come out. Might also be why Ryan Reynolds came out so hard, doubling down on calling Justin Baldoni a predator in his motion to dismiss this week. I don't know, just a theory, but the timing's a little convenient. Am I right? Of all of them, I would say the New York Times has the strongest chance of getting their motion to dismiss granted because there are special privileges that the press does have, and we're learning how they, in my opinion, abuse those privileges, but they have the strongest case in a motion to dismiss, in my opinion, but we'll see. I doubt Blake or Leslie Sloan or Ryan Reynolds will get dismissed. The New York Times might, but I'm predicting Brian Friedman's gonna come back swinging pretty hard to keep them in this.
But Joe Rogan's not letting this go. He recently mocked Ryan Reynolds for filing a motion to dismiss the case on March 18th, hinting that Ryan and Blake might have had a hidden agenda when they got involved with It Ends With Us. Rogan believes the couple wanted full control of the movie franchise, even though, let's be clear, there's no actual proof of that beyond some snarky comments from Baldoni himself.
Ryan Friedman, Justin Baldoni's attorney, has just shot back at Blake Lively's motion to dismiss. Blake is abusing the legal system. 3 exclamation points. Ryan Friedman tells TMZ Miss Lively's recent motion to dismiss herself from the self-concocted disaster she initiated is one of the most abhorrent examples of abusing our legal system. Friedman says stringent rules are put into place to protect the innocent and allow individuals to rightfully defend themselves, while noting laws are not meant to be twisted and curated by privileged elites to fit their own personal agenda.
Court of public opinion has already spoken. Everyone's upset at Blake Lively. They're upset at Ryan Reynolds. She's a unique defendant in this case where she's going to be able to use this brand new shiny law. There's not a whole lot of cases that have been decided on it, but it looks very broad. And the way that it's been given, I mean, I have to think that Justin Baldoni's team is looking at this. Of course, they're going to come out publicly and say this is a bunch of nonsense. You know, this is not a big deal. But if I was the lawyer representing Justin Baldoni on this would be a punch to my gut today. I would be going, uh-oh, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah, it's a legal judo move for sure on the part of Lively and Baldoni and Friedman and their team. They got to take it very seriously. And I'm sure that they're going to have arguments and they're going to mount a good defense.
Even comedians are getting in on the drama. The Howie Mandel Does Stuff podcast recently aired a segment where comedian Adam Ray impersonated Dr. Phil to jokingly weigh in on the feud between Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni. It was a satirical take on the whole situation, but the fact that people are parodying it shows just how big this story has gotten.
Whose side are you on?
Well, Baldoni looks like, what's the word? He's got like a, you remember going to school with that kid that always like raised his hand real quick in school for extra credit.
Yeah.
But then he also like hit on the recess teacher, remember? And she was like 35 and he was 12.
Right.
But she still was like,
well, my husband's going to be gone next week, so maybe come over and we can play kickball. But
Oh, now I remember. Yes, I do remember.
Baldoni was the hot kid that could fuck a teacher. So he's got that in his head on a movie set, which is, as Gizmo said, yeah.
In the official complaint, Lively accuses Baldoni of creating a toxic, hostile work environment while filming It Ends With Us. She claims he showed inappropriate content, made uncomfortable personal comments, and even made unsolicited remarks about her body and weight. Blake says that after she spoke up, Baldoni and his company, Wayfarer Studios, retaliated with a smear campaign to damage her image.
Blake Lively suing Justin Baldoni for sexual harassment was not on my 2024 bingo card, but here we are. In Blake's lawsuit, she is alleging there was a meeting that included her husband, Ryan, where she demanded no more showing of nude photos or images of women to Blake, no more mention of Baldoni's alleged previous porno addiction, no more discussions about sexual conquest in front of Blake and others, no further mentions of cast and crew's genitalia, no more inquiries about Blake's weight, and no more further mention about her father who passed away. Goes on to say no more adding of sex scenes and oral sex or on-camera climaxing outside of the scope of the script that she approved. Justin's lawyer basically said this was Blake's attempt to fix her negative reputation. As we know, this last year, she went from being a Hollywood sweetheart to basically being disliked by the fans.
Meanwhile, It Ends With Us cast member Hassan Minhaj, who played Marshall in the film, spoke out in an interview with Esquire. He said he didn't see any issues during filming and that everyone was professional and kind. Minhaj admitted he was surprised to hear about the conflict, saying he had no idea any of this was going on while he was on set.
The only It Ends With Us cast member that still follows Justin Baldoni has made a comment about all of the backlash the movie received, and some of the drama between Justin and Blake. Hassan, who plays the husband of Jenny Slate's character, said that he can't speak to anyone else's experience, but he said that his experience was that everyone was professional and easy to work with. He said it was lovely and everybody was lovely, and afterwards he just ended up feeling a bit disillusioned and confused about everything that was happening in the news. He said it was a very strange, bizarre year, and that as a comic he was definitely laughing at a lot of moments, which we can totally understand. This already adds to the weirdness that was going on within the cast with Jenny Slate just ignoring questions about Justin. Then Brandon Sklenar's comment about Blake and defending her. I feel like Hassan is giving us an inside look at what it was really like. He even said everybody was professional on set, basically denying that Justin was ever unprofessional. But I don't know. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Then there's another layer of drama. Crisis PR expert Jed Wallace just filed a $7 million defamation suit against Blake Lively. Wallace, who runs street relations out of Texas, claims Blake falsely accused him of running a digital smear campaign against her. According to Wallace, that accusation hurt both his career and his business reputation.
I promise you, I've been trying to think of other things to talk about, but another day, another filing. And this actually has to do with one of the most interesting aspects of this entire case. Blake Lively is now being sued by Jed Wallace of Street Relations Inc. He has said that she has cost him millions of dollars in reputational harm and is suing her for defamation. Lively's counsel released a statement saying that this is just someone else that's trying to sue her into oblivion for speaking out, and that they are confident that this will get dismissed, which I find that to be really interesting because this is someone that they alleged in her original complaint was really responsible or had a part in allegedly the whole astroturfing, because they alleged that Wallace was responsible for planting negative comments and negative stuff.
Blake's legal team fired back, calling Wallace's lawsuit purely retaliatory. They say he only filed it because of Blake's earlier complaint against Baldoni, and they're confident the case will get thrown out.
Wallace has maintained that he had no part in any negative PR tactics against Lively, which it was interesting that her defense basically was like, oh, this is nothing, it'll get dismissed, yada, 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 because in her filing, they said that Wallace was the one who weaponized a digital army. I don't know if that's a direct quote, but basically that it was either real accounts or possibly bot farms. I don't really know. I probably need to read that again. But basically that was orchestrated by Wallace and, other members of Baldoni's team. Which much like if I was naming someone who like had taken part in this like alleged astroturfing, I'd be like, yeah, see you in court. Can't wait to find out your method. I don't know. Maybe that's probably not the most professional response, which is also probably why I'm not a lawyer and I'm here on TikTok.
One of the incidents mentioned in Blake's legal documents involves a man entering her room while she was breastfeeding. She says he came in without permission, but others claim she actually did give him permission. That contradiction is raising a lot of eyebrows and bringing up concerns about how misunderstandings can spiral in high-pressure Hollywood environments.
Imagine for a second, you invite a man to your trailer, you're breastfeeding. You say, you can come in, but you gotta turn around. So he, knock, knock, I'm here. Come on in. Turn around. He locks eyes with you. And the second it takes for him to turn around, and you add that to the lawsuit, Blake Lively, Gossip Girl, you must be stopped. That man was standing and staring at the wall, singing show tunes to himself for all we know, counting stars, counting specks of dust and paint. And you said that was sexual harassment. At this point, you gotta blame it on Ryan Reynolds. Say he wanted the idea for a movie. Say that he thought that it was gonna be a funny ha 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 moment. You know how he jokes. Say we all know how he jokes because it's not working. You doomed us.
And now there are reports that Blake Lively created a toxic environment on the set of A Simple Favor. Assistant director Barbara Seaman says she was so distressed by Blake's behavior that she had to resign. Add that to everything else, and you've got a real pattern of serious accusations being thrown Blake's way, ones that raise big questions about her behavior behind the scenes.
Blake Lively was the reason an assistant director quit A Simple Favor. Allegedly, of course. And we learned this from Henry Golding's post. Henry Golding, who was in A Simple Favor, made a post with the poster for another Simple Favor. And under his post, Barbed Wire TV had commented, "I worked with you on the first one. My experience with everyone was absolutely amazing except for a certain someone who is the reason I quit being an AD. Guess who that person is? Wish you all the best with this though." And Barbed Wire TV went on to say, "I want to avoid attention around this, but I will say she was cruel to many. I know I cried my way home many nights because you try so hard to please someone who is never pleased and puts you down constantly. I can't believe it's actually getting back at her. Karma is real." And Barbed Wire TV, whose real name is Barbara Jaworski, definitely seems to work in like the production world. And for further proof, here's her IMDb. Seems to be under her maiden name. Says she's known for Barbed Wire TV, which obviously that's even her account name. Under projects, you'll see A Simple Favor. She was the 4th assistant director. So not only did we learn that she quit, but apparently she made many people cry behind the scenes, allegedly.
Justin Baldoni's lead attorney, Brian Friedman, says this entire legal war has devastated Baldoni's career. And Rogan? He's still backing Baldoni 100%. He even mentioned that Baldoni released a bunch of so-called receipts, texts, emails, all laid out in a 168-page timeline that his legal team posted on a website. A judge did question if that violated court rules, but Rogan insists the evidence speaks for itself. He said it plain. Everyone's scared. Ryan Reynolds A-list. Blake Lively A-list.
In his statement to TMZ, Friedman reiterated, as we said yesterday in response to Mr. Reynolds' same cowardly measures, we will continue to hold Ms. Lively accountable for her actions of pure malice, which included falsely accusing my clients of harassment and retaliation. Friedman summed it up by saying Blake's fantastical claims will be swiftly debunked as discovery moves forward, easily disproved with actual evidentiary proof.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. There's a number of different defendants here. Stephanie Jones will be all over this complaint. That is the PR agent who was supposed to be working for Justin Baldoni. Leslie Sloan, who's another PR agent who will be part of this lawsuit. That was Blake Lively's. Blake Lively will be sued, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
So, if Rogan's claims are actually true, what does this mean for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's future? Is there really a hidden agenda going on behind closed doors, or is this all just media hype and Hollywood chaos? Let us know what you think. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you're shocked by this story, hit that like button, share the tea with your friends, and make sure you subscribe so you never miss a single update. This drama's not slowing down anytime soon. See you in the next one. It's only getting messier from here.